Hey, I wanted to say a few words about the election that's happening right now in the United States, and I wrote this down, so I'm going to look like I'm reading it because I am. It's around midnight on election night, and it seems like he's going to win again and serve another 4 years of accelerations towards fascism. Why would we expect any different but wishful thinking? Why overestimate the independence of people in any state in this country, in Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Michigan, North Carolina, in anywhere? The system is rigged from the ground up, from the schools and kitchen tables where authority is abused and truth is relegated. Another stress test for liberal democracy. As if there weren't enough. Of course, people vote for the convicted felon former TV billionaire instead of the non-entity that begs to be ignored to maintain status quo behind a smokescreen of generalities. It's decision time. It's decision time, and people don't know how to rationally think through a decision sometimes, especially when it's as complicated as which coalition will best serve in the roles of the executive branch, and in all the many positions affected by this. He is treated as a serious candidate. I mean, the right media empire glamorizes him, and the liberal media sits on the fence. What an abysmal place. I couldn't imagine raising a family here. No judgment if you do. On a call with someone earlier, they mentioned the idea of leaving the country or something, and it hit me that I will feel somewhat pressed to do that. But whatever, we always say this, and what that really does is unclear. I know it's not like they're going to round up Jews immediately. They're not going to round up Jews first at all. They're going to round up undocumented people first. All the appointees will be dangerous. Right-wing terrorism will be empowered. How long until journalists are car bombed? Has that happened in the U.S.? Remind myself to look up later. They killed that guy, that anti-fascist, extrajudicially, in cold blood. Extrajudicially. Not judicially. Their judges are crooked, their policies are bad, they're the more parasitic party. But the people will survive, I guess, most people. A car door closes, a dog barks once. I need to write more. I hate this. Feel so powerless. Why do so many people have such a need for a strong daddy? Why are people more motivated by fear than love? Why can't this country have a more functional system? Why can't the Democrats win? Why don't people see past charlatans? Democracy is nothing without education, critical thinking, and limits on campaign contributions. He had the right billionaires. The left needs to rise up in this country, and present a better alternative. If the decision is between something and nothing, something will always win. It doesn't matter what that something might be. People want to believe in something. They want to defend themselves against others for believing what they believe. A church bell rings once. It's 1 a.m. now. Another one, 10 seconds later, in a slightly lower pitch. People do not want normalcy. People don't want their parent to be the one on career day who bores the class with predictable platitudes. They want the dad who makes a memorable scene and has flashy tastes. In a world where many feel the pressure of dysfunction daily and all the news, we want to believe in the ever-present power of the charismatic individual. He's the man. She seems like a candidate designed to make people stay home. Hillary, but less experienced. No, they don't like her laughing. They see her as laughing in their face. Try to find clips of him laughing. It's rare, forced, and sometimes pathological. That's what the crowd wants, though. Not seriousness, but a joyless levity supported by his privileged birthright. The image of her laughter confuses and overwhelms people. It's suspicious. Not that she seems unfocused or distracted, that would be fine and relatable. Instead, her laugh is suspicious because it seems too positive. And a person laughing is a person disassembling and momentarily out of control. When she laughs, it's at something in reality. When he smirks, it's at an idea. He doesn't need reality. She seems like she's faking confidence because she worked more to earn it and doesn't feel entitled to power on the same level of depth that he does. Power has been baked into his identity as his inheritance from birth, so he has a confidence that feels more assured, despite any logical reasons to consider it misplaced. People don't overwhelmingly prefer to work hard to achieve things. It is more aligned with people's uneducated essentialist mindsets that they occasionally have, that a candidate should be born with a mandate to lead instead of clawing through the muck of learned experience. She's a politician, he's a trigger for associations of an authority figure. She came on the scene, he's just always sort of been around on the scene, spending money. He blows with the wind. And what could be more appealing than his detachment from reality? He represents the triumph of media over message, of narrative over fact, and his success is a victory against every self-doubt I've ever suffered to introspect about, someone might think. He represents the lack of necessity of self-criticism. She represents an excess of compromise. The people reject her or remain unmotivated by her to instead use his story to project their own desire to fail upwards, because succeeding feels unrealistic to expect at this point. I can keep going with speculations and interpretations, but really politics is a game taking place in reality. It's constantly moving archers aiming at constantly moving targets, but it begins wherever in our lives we have the time and space to focus and aim at what's within our influence. Thanks for listening. I haven't really felt compelled to make a YouTube video in a year and a half, and I will eventually make more, I guess, but I felt like maybe sharing this message. And I know it's kind of weird, but I, don't really care. And yeah. All the best. Really.